Bam! Hey, what's happening? You guys made it, and so did I. Here we are. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness. Tonight's episodeless episode. I called it that because basically I've been so busy with life, I haven't really been able to focus so much on the live stream, but it is my happy place. So I have not given up on the live stream. It's a big part of me, and you guys are a big part of me. Thank you so much for coming and being here and sharing the moment with me. How is everybody doing? What's up, Lily? Good to see you. And here we are. So I was trying to think about what to do. I have a friend of mine, Carrie Ann, who has been working on getting me some really, really incredible guests. So I know I have like 5 or 6 people who are really interested in being here, who are all intuitive, psychics, astrologers, people who, just have different, what's the word I'm looking for? Resonation. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot the word. It's living different modalities. So different modalities of connecting to their own spirituality, whatever it might be. Kim Adler, what's happening? Welcome to the live stream. It's wonderful to see you here. I'm so glad to see people saying hello. I'm going to do some different things tonight. I'm going to actually talk about some of the stuff I've been doing. You see, I'm wearing the tied-in shirt. This is the studio that I've been talking about. What's up, Lorraine? Good to see you too. The studio I've been talking about and where I work, and I just was working all day, and like I said, it's been so busy. So for those of you who are just joining the live stream, my name is Michael Zinn. I'm a visual artist. I do video production and all of this kind of stuff, but I also am a spiritual artist. I love people, and I love to love, and I love creating space for people, and that's what I always saw the live stream of consciousness as, or whatever my platform was just really to talk to people. So usually I'm interviewing somebody. I don't have anybody lined up tonight. I may invite, you know what, I'm going to actually invite whoever wants to come on, is brave enough to come on and talk to me, to come on and talk about whatever, but I do have some stuff lined up to talk about. This is the oh, I'm putting it in the chat. Okay, good. So you guys can click on that. If somebody wants to come live with me and talk, you're welcome to. If not, that's cool, because I want to talk about myself as an artist and a photographer, and show you guys some of the things that I've done. So I'm just preparing my screen here. I'm going to share my screen here. So I always enjoyed visual arts. I went to the Harvard Art School, and the camera became my tool. And hold on, I'm going to share the Chrome window. This one, boom, it's right here. Great, awesome. So the camera became my tool, and uh, I started taking pictures, and admittedly, I think as a male growing up in the time that I grew up, Playboy magazine was a big uh, inspiration to me, and it wasn't just the sexuality of Playboy magazine, but it was also the photography, because it was just different. It wasn't. It was presented in a very artistic way in my mind. And even back then, I understood that it was. So I've always, uh, had an admiration for the human form, the female form, and it was 2011, and I came up with this idea. 2012 was right around the corner. And there was all of this talk about Nostradamus and predictions of the end of the world in 2012. And I said, what's going to happen to the swimwear illustrated calendar? And in my head, I came up with this mashup of Mad Max meets the Victoria's Secret calendar. What's up, Jilly? Good to see you. Um, and I just had this vision. Women of Armageddon was the name of it. Came up with it. I always like to play with words, and that's what came up. And I came up with this idea and a vision. I think there was a movie called 300 around that time, and it was like a very specific style. The visuals were very colored, and the backgrounds were artificial. It was like digitally done, and that was the vision in my head. And so I came up with this idea. I want to share some of the images with you and my photography, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Um, and I wish I found the cover for the 2012 version of the calendar, but I didn't. And I'm just gonna put up an image, and I'm going to start telling the story. So this is the January image from the Women of Armageddon calendar. Let me see if I can make it any bigger. Yeah, there you go. There's a little bit bigger. So as you can see, that was kind of the vision I described, kind of a Victoria's Secret meets Mad Max, where it's like, they still have their hair and makeup done and they're looking nice, but there's this element of post-apocalyptic environment happening. And so what happened was, it was November of 2011, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, Janine, and I was in Arizona at my folks' house, and I told her about the idea, and she said, I know some girls who would dress up like that and love to do that. So I was like, really? And she said, yeah, we could do this. And the spark was lit to create a calendar. Women of Armageddon, like I said, was what it was called. And we got home and contacted these girls and got 12 different girls to participate. And actually some of the girls uh, worked at the haunted houses, and they already had costumes and props and things like that, and their boyfriends were prop makers. So some of the girls came with these Gatling guns and these crazy props. It was just amazing how this project came to life. So this was the January image. This was a friend of mine who joined the calendar. I'm going to go to the next one. This is the February image. And this was, oh my God, I can't. Oh, Lisa Federer is a drummer for a band, Blue Movie. And she agreed to be in the calendar, which was awesome. And this was such a cool, fun, little cool photo shoot. And these were done actually like on green screen. So this was done in the studio and then added in Photoshop. Like I said, it was the movie 300 was inspired the look of this first calendar that came out. The ones that came out after that were much more photographic, and I've gotten better as a photographer, and I may get to those too, but I have some other stuff I want to share as well. There was another artist who I also kind of asked to help me out because I didn't think I could do 12 of them within a month to get this calendar on sale for the next year. I mean, it was already the end of November. I had basically December to do this. So this was shot in December and created in December, and it was ready to go for January of 2012, which was an amazing accomplishment. Jilly B says, I know Blue Movie. And Lisa is a great drummer. She is a great drummer. She's a great person. I worked with Blue Movie on quite a few projects, and they were such a great band to work with. What's his name? Tony Paris, the guitar player, such a great guy. Daniela, the bass player, also happened to be a student of mine when I was teaching Photoshop at SUNY Farmingdale. She was a student of mine, and then a few years later, we re-met again, and she was playing bass for Blue Movie. And actually, I don't know if it's the next one, but nope, that's not. That's a different girl. But this was another image from that calendar. But Daniela, who's the bass player for Blue Movie, was also in the calendar. I think her image is in this bunch. I hope it is. It was a good one. This one was kind of cool. I like this one. Felt really Quentin Tarantino-like style for me. And this was a friend of another one. And I didn't really want to do like a too much like TNA, calendar, but that was the style of this particular girl, and so we went like that. But it worked out because I was able to create this. I don't know if you guys can see this little poster back here, like a propaganda poster, but it's the poster of the girl, so it's kind of like this weird time paradox. But anyway, Julie is saying me and Danielle used to box together. Yeah, that's really cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, she was the bass player for Blue Movie, and I'm hoping that maybe this is next. This is her image. Nope, it's not. That's Samantha. But this was another cool image that was kind of Tank Girl inspired. That was from the 2012 Women of Armageddon calendar. And I think what was really great about this calendar, there was a couple of great things, and that was one, I was able to kind of present myself as a photographer that wasn't really looking to exploit women and put them in precarious like sexual positions, and I was showing my my genuine respect and empowering females. At least that's what it felt like to me, and that's what that was the response that I got to it. So I think it put me in a really good place for as a photographer. All of the girls I worked with, totally, I had so much respect for them that respect came back. And I was genuinely grateful for them helping me and being there for this project. That was another girl named Samantha. Oh, and the last girl was not named Samantha. Her name was Sarah. I'm sorry. Sarah Pickles. And I don't know what's going on. Oh, I see it blacked out over there on the broadcast for a minute, so it popped up. But this was another cool one. This was done right in my backyard. Again, it was December, so Samantha was really bearing the cold weather and just kind of went outside real quickly, but we got a great results with her. This is one of my favorite images. I was able to create like a downed plane in the background, or a downed craft, or whatever it might be. And this was really one of my favorite images from that year. So this whole project, the Women of Armageddon calendar, really was so important in my life because it validated so many things. And one of the things, and is part of why I'm a spiritual guy. One of the things that people tell you your whole life is that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to, right? And you're like, yeah, whatever, I want to be a billionaire, how am I going to do that? And this was the definition of that to me. Like I set my mind to do this. I shot all of the photos. I had it ready for January. And when the box came to my door of the calendars printed and I opened it up, that whole saying that everyone had been saying to me my whole life and was so abstract became real. I held in my hands my own power to create my own thing. And Kayla, what's happening? Good to see you out there. She loves the calendar. Awesome. It was definitely a very amazing accomplishment for me. It meant a lot to me. It changed my life. It really pointed me in the direction of who I am, and how I kind of approach things. And as a matter of fact, I went on to do the Women of Armageddon calendar from 2012 through 2016. which I think is a pretty good run considering every year I was paying for it out of my own pocket to get printed and to do the thing, and even hire some people to help me with makeup and costumes and that kind of thing. I didn't always have to hire people. It was great when it was organic, but I guess I did. After a couple of years, I started to respect people enough to want to give them money, for their services. So, um, it just, again, it was a big, huge growth and me becoming who I am. I hope this next one is Danielle. Is it? No, that one's Michelle. So Michelle was a friend of mine, whose husband is a singer, Eric, in a rock and roll band, and she actually was, I think, turning 30. She was like 29 years old in this photo, and she really wanted to be a bodybuilder. And this set her in motion to be a bodybuilder. And the next year, she was in the WBFF, or whatever the bodybuilding federation is, and walking on the stage and building her own costumes. And it really kind of was inspirational moment for her too. So Michelle's a good friend of mine, and it was just great. This piece of art that I created, this concept that came out of my head, just branched off into so many ripples, and it was just something really great. I think I have one or two more from that calendar. If you guys are still with me, I appreciate everybody out there. If you're out there, say hello. I'll pop your name up on the screen or whatever. And I did put the link in the text, so I'm going to do it again and invite anybody who wants to come on and face to face with me and talk about stuff, uh, is welcome. So this is actually a good friend of mine, also Kat, and this was one that was done by the other artist I was talking about. His name was Eric Suki, and uh, he he created this image for me. I shot the images, but he did all of the Photoshop. So he put it in the background and all of that stuff. This was actually one of my favorite images as well. I loved the concept that he came up with this dried out ocean bed. And it was perfect for the calendar. So, hey, Carrie Ann, what's happening? Good to see you out there. I am just doing a episodeless episode of myself and what I do, and inviting people to come on if they want to come on. Carrie Ann is the woman told you guys was helping me. So if you want to come on, Carrie Ann, at some point, I'll send you the link. Lorraine says amazing pictures. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me when people like what I do, and I honestly don't feel like I do it for that, but that's why it means so much, which is cool. So the Women of Armageddon was a opportunity for me to grow and learn about trying to create a brand, and play with that. I realized after I did the first calendar and I held it in my hand, I realized that I created something that was like an alternative universe. So it was, what if Armageddon happened and these were the women who survived? No men survived. And so I took the calendar to a comic convention, not Comic Con, but like a comic book swap meet, and there were like some celebrities there, and it was pretty cool. And I was looking for an illustrator because I was like, I want to make a story and I want to create this into a comic book, because I felt like Planet of the Apes was kind of one of my inspirations in growing up. I loved that movie and that idea that there was this alternate universe out there somewhere that apes ruled the earth. So this was my idea, and this is my women ruling the earth fantasy / alternate universe. And so anyway, I took it to this convention and I met this illustrator who had illustrated TV Guide for 20 years now. Some of my listeners will know what TV Guide is. Some of you guys won't know what TV Guide is. But TV Guide was like the staple for watching television. It had all of the listings of, it was a paper magazine that came every week, and it had the listings for the week of what was on every channel at any given moment in the week. So it was like a pretty thick little book. And there was always a drawing on the front, like a caricature of, the $6 Million Man, or Happy Days, or some show that was on. And so he was the guy who illustrated that, and I gave him the calendar, and he looked at me and he said, "What is this?" And had this weird smile on his face. He's like, "Is this is this like a movie that's coming out? And this is pretty cool. What is this? And I told him it was just an idea that I had. And see a couple of people who remember TV Guide. Ninja Kitty remembers TV Guide. Julie remembers TV Guide. Ninja Kitty remembers the monkeys. Nice. Hey, she's a monkey. So anyway, he encouraged me. Basically, he said, why are you looking for an illustrator for this? He said, look at what you've done here. You've created these photographic images that have their own style to them. So why don't you take this concept into and make a photographic novel instead of a graphic novel, a comic book? Why don't you make a photographic novel? So what's up, Ellen? Ellen Pellegrino's out there. Nice to see you. Ellen Pellegrino is awesome. Kayla says she used to read TV Guide on the throne when there was no cell phones. I remember that as well. Kimberly says yes. That's awesome. So anyway, so this guy, oh my God, his name escapes me at the moment, because that's funny, because his son was a filmmaker and I became friends with his son and did some work with his son, and they were named the same thing. He had the same name. He was like a junior, and I forget what his name is offhand. But anyway, he encouraged me to take it further and do a photographic novel. So that was the idea. I had started writing a story with Janine, who was the kind of co-creator of all of the she did all of the makeup and costumes for this first calendar. She was such an amazing girlfriend and partner, in going through this this experience. And anyway, now I forget what I was saying. Let me just I was talking about making it into a photographic novel. So we started to kind of try to work out a story, an origin story, and planned on making a photographic novel. But before we could, the next year came up, and Comic-Con came up. And I think that's what's next in the pictures, maybe. No, that's the Who Likes. All right, I'm gonna go past those pictures. Try to go to this. This was the 2014. So you can see as it went on, the style changed a little bit. This was actually photographed at a paintball yard. So the guy who had a paintball yard said, hey, I got this paintball yard that would make a good background. There were these planes and these Jeeps and all of these little cool places to hide. So we did a bunch of 2014 at this paintball place that was Hyper Velocity or something out east. And this was a good friend of mine, Melissa, who loved being in the calendar. She was a good friend of mine, and she was easier. And it's like Borderlands in live action. Totally, Kim. It's total. That was totally part of the style of this year. It looked like a video game. There was a couple of them. I might have a couple more pictures from that. And Lily says, amazing pics, Mike. Thank you. This was really amazing experience for me. And I really appreciate you guys listening to me babble on about myself. But I figured, since I didn't have a guest, I would just kind of show some stuff that I did, and I'm actually appreciating this. So thank you guys so much. This was the cover for I think 2013. Hold on, let me shrink this down so that you guys can see it a little bigger. Is that all it's going to go? Yeah, that's all it's going to go. So this was, as you can see, there was kind of a story developing, and part of that story was the women arriving back on land and seeing all of the things destroyed. And this was kind of this was the cover for that year. So this was going towards that photographic novel style. So that's what this style is that you're seeing, very comic book like style. Move forward with what I got. So this was actually an image outtake from the first year that you saw. This was that girl Sarah that I was talking about, and very Tank Girl inspired image. This was like, actually, I think even almost a direct rip off of a Tank Girl image. I don't want to say rip off, but inspired by Tank Girl. And this was also from the second year where we were kind of plotting out this photographic novel journey. But like I said, it became a calendar rather than a photographic novel. I kind of, I think it's still a very valid idea, and it's still on the table. So it may become a photographic novel one day. This was me kind of playing around with it and making, oh, that was the actual image. I think I burned it up a little bit, but that was the image used. That was me making an ad for recruiting models. And then I actually ended up through the artwork and a show I was at presenting the artwork. This guy, Scott King, came into my life. Very interesting character. You can look him up on Facebook, Scott King. He's huge, just like he looks. He's amazing. His physique is like, if you're into that stuff, I would say perfect. It's really, he's a little big for my taste, but he's so photogenic as far as like the human figure. And again, that's what I appreciate. So I had an opportunity to work with him. I have a whole set of images with him that if you go follow me on my website, you can see. But he was great to work with. He's actually in the UK now, doing some live broadcasting. He always invites me over there. He does a little photography stuff. He's an interesting fella. But he came by one month and he was like, hey, I want to shoot. And he always loved when I would get extra models in the shoot. So I got two of the girls who were actually in some of the calendars to model with him, and I was able to extend the universe a little bit of the Women of Armageddon with him, and it was cool. So I think that's all I've got for Women of Armageddon. So I'm going to take a little break here and drink some water before I move on to the next stuff, which is when I started to get involved with the projector, which is kind of cool. But how is everybody doing out there? Everybody is so quiet. It's so cool to see people just hanging out and chilling and listening and watching. And I appreciate every one of you. All right, so I'm going to share this next window and start talking about the next part of my life. You know what? I'm going to share screen, Chrome tab, Chrome window. There it is. Let me share this. So I was inspired by this artist named Danny Olivier, French artist, who I saw some of his photos, and what he was doing was he was using a projector and projecting it onto a woman's body. But it was like you could see it was a woman's body by the shape of it, but you couldn't see her body. So it wasn't sexual, but it was very, very feminine, and it was like right up my alley. Jilly B, thank you. Before I go into the next thing, Jilly B is saying very cool concept and images. Boom, 2 thumbs up. Thank you for the love and nice comment back. I really appreciate it. And Kim is saying very cool. She's a fan of my work for sure, and positivity. And Kim is somebody who I've known since high school, believe it or not, maybe even a little bit earlier. I'm sure Kim remembers her. This is interesting. Her mom used to kind of babysit for us before and after school. My mom was working, so she would drop us off at Kim's house, and we would wait for the bus together and go to school, and then we would come back to Kim's house, and my mom would pick us up there when she was done. So we were friends for a long time, and that was it's pretty awesome to see you here. It's kind of part of the universe. I know you're a fan of my positivity and everything. I'm not telling any secrets. She's saying don't tell the secrets. I'm not telling the secrets. I'm showing the amazing power of the universe and how everything comes around. And Kim, don't think that you're not a part of my life and a Facebook friend of mine for a reason. I mean, there is a reason, and we may have not have come across it yet, but we both know there is a reason. Absolutely. So it's all good. Anyway, so I will, you know what, I have a moment. I'm just going to put this up here at the bottom. This is my website if you guys are interested in checking out other stuff that I do. There's some video stuff on there. There's some graphic design stuff on there. It's not as specific as what we're doing tonight. And even the next little segment I have set up for you guys is very specific, but it's kind of set up, and it's not going to take you into everything. I also noticed, by the way, let me just stop this banner here for a second. I noticed that going into my banners here, I have to clean up my banner section, but it was amazing to me to see some of these banners. I'm just going to show. Do you remember what betterlookslike.org? Such an amazing guest. What's her name? Gannon. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. But such an amazing cause, such an amazing guest. I have Tommy Chong here, Tommy Chong Cannabis from when he was on. I'm just deleting these as I go through them here. Hold on a second. Hide, delete. Christopher Allen, one of my favorite people in the world, psychic medium who totally made me from a skeptic to a believer. I mean, I was with this guy. He just says some of the most amazing things that you can't deny are coming from somewhere. You know, they're not, he's not fishing and finding these things out. They're coming from somewhere. So that's Christopher Allen. I'm still here. Net. We talked about Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, at one point. So I have all of these banners here. It's just amazing. Let's see, there's a comment. What's the comment? Oh, great shows. Ninja Kitty was there for a lot of those. They were, this show itself, the live stream of consciousness that came out of just me doing live broadcasts for Jesse and his class, also changed my life. I mean, I never ever wanted to be sitting here in front of a microphone talking to myself on the computer, knowing and feeling that there are things happening. It just happened. We started doing the show, and the ripples just came back to me. I mean, it was just ridiculous, and they constantly do, which is why this is part of my happy place. Julie B says it's a great book. The Power of Now is definitely a great book. It's an amazing, Eckhart Tolle is an amazing author to watch. I have I don't remember what this one was. KairosTrainingCulture.com. Kairos Training. I don't know. I don't remember who that was. Lily, tell me who that was. I have from my other broadcast, I have that Miss Quinn, who is a clown fetish girl who was also amazing to talk to. That other show, The Strange and Wonderful, is an amazing show. That actually was born from this show, and the user from listener from this show asking me to help her. Courtney asked me to help her make something, and we had Asia Lee on. I believe that was when did we have Asia Lee on? A couple weeks ago. Asia's also an amazing person who came into my life and has helped me tremendously with so many things, my belief system in general, which was pretty good, but there were everybody needs a little work in some places, and I knew exactly where I needed to work, and she knew where to help me. We have the Awakened Underground, which is Cody Snyder's new podcast all about plant medicine. Super informative, and from a super grounded point of view. He's coming from a really grounded point of view, talking about plant medicine and stuff. I'm almost done. I think I have one or two to delete here. Hold on, let me hide that one and delete it. Delete Miss Quinn there. And the last one I'm going to show is Raven Bunny 8420. Now, this one's an interesting one. This was not the live stream of consciousness. This was the Strange and Wonderful. Oh no, we did have him on the stream, the live stream of consciousness. That's Alex and Mimi. Alex and Mimi is the AI. So AI is an amazing thing I've been exploring. And if you guys had seen that episode, you'd remember how awesome it was. We actually got to ask artificial intelligence what consciousness was. And the response was that consciousness was reality being aware of itself. And it just went on into some amazing things. So if you have a chance and you're interested in that episode, that's Alex and Mimi, the live stream of consciousness. Ellen Pellegrino says, sounds cool, and I'm waking underground. You know, I do quantum healing. I didn't know that you did quantum healing specifically. I did know that you are a healer and probably had a few different modalities. Actually, I don't know if we ever even discussed what modalities you worked in, but I knew that you had a few modalities. I knew it wasn't just like you were a Reiki master or something. I know you have a podcast. What's your podcast? Tell me your podcast. I'll pitch it here. Not pitch it. What's the word here when you advertise something? I'll push it. Anyway, you were asking her all kind of questions. Oh, the AI. Yes, I actually have downloaded an AI since then of my own. I haven't joined the paying program, but it's been interesting, and I like asking AI some interesting questions. It's fun to talk to AI about what is sentience and things like that, and hear what they're talking about. And Ellen is the age of new beginnings. Ellen Pellegrino is a friend of mine who is also a light worker and intuitive, and as we were saying, has many modalities. Ellen, I- I'll invite you to come on the show. I will invite you to come on. I want to talk about a little bit of my work, but when I'm done, I'll invite you up, and if we have some time still, we can chat. I want to finish this conversation. You are very, very welcome. Shout out to Ellen. Shout out to Ellen. I guess that's a shout out to Ellen. So again, thank you guys for being here. I know I haven't looked you in the eye because the camera's over here and the window is over here. So I'm usually looking over here. Let me see if I can move the window over here. Is that a little better? Does it feel like I'm talking to you now? So I'm going to bring up. I started talking about it and then I got diverted. And that's what the live stream of consciousness is all about, right? We're streaming consciousness right now and going all over the place, going with the flow. I started talking about a photographer named Danny Olivier, French photographer who was using a projector. I think he was actually using two projectors from two directions onto a model and shooting it, and it inspired a bunch of images. This became one of my favorites, so I'm going to share this one first. This is actually a girl who was an intern at the studio that I had when I had my own photography studio. Let me see if I can make this any bigger for you guys somehow. No, I guess I can't. So this is an image, just an image of stripes, magenta kind of color stripes that I was projecting onto Francesca, and inspired a whole other wave of things that I'm going to get back to at the end, or maybe talk to another time if anyone has seen the Human Dollars. This was the original image that I keep pointing the wrong way. This was the image that inspired the Human Dollars series. But Francesca was an amazing young girl who wanted to be a model. She came to intern at the studio because we would always shoot with her. At one point, she was a client. She came as a client to the studio with her mom, and we shot with her, and they loved what we did, and we became friendly with her. And she came to intern because she was studying art, and we had the opportunity to work with her. It was amazing. Um, so anyway, that was the first image of Francesca, and then I think this is also from that series. So this is a little bit of a different exposure, a little bit of a different approach to, what it looks like, but the same concept of, projecting an image onto a model to get those contours. That's why I was using lines, because I figured it would take the contours of the body, the way you see it happening there, and it just became, again, kind of mesmerizing, beautiful image, at least in my opinion. Again, I do my work for myself. I just felt compelled to share it with you guys and talk a little bit about it, and why I do what I do and all of those things. So here you go. That was another image of Francesca. Again, chime in anytime you guys want. If you have anything to say, positive, negative, I can take it. It's just good to be here and see everybody here. This was another friend of mine, Stephanie. We became friendly, and this was, again, kind of. I was learning on what images kind of worked, what images didn't. This worked in some ways for me and didn't in other ways. Again, it was a lot of it was about the female form, so I, I feel like I got that part right. But I wanted the images to conform to the model, and some of it does, and some of it doesn't. Listen, this is a beautiful image. I love it. This is part of, what drove the project. The whole thing. It was a lot of experimenting. So I'm going to go to another one. This is actually an odd one, because this is an image of Danny Olivier's. So the image is actually a projection on a model. So what you're seeing here, where the eye has kind of this 3D thing happening, almost looks like uh, another layer. That's actually the model with the projection on her and her body. and it's kind of distorting Danielle, who's the model here. It's distorting her body. um, so this one actually, happy Bob Ross style accident, and just an artist thing. As you're creating art, you're connecting to the universe. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of speaking through the universe experiencing itself and trying to interpret itself. So here's another image. This was Stephanie, and this was more of a concentration on the face and the eyes. This was actually this became a cool image because inadvertently, when I was going to choose the images that I wanted to uh, project onto my models, I had inadvertently collected some images. This was kind of before I started, talking about spirituality, like the flower of life, some sacred geometry images. It was already there. You know what I mean? I didn't need to know that I was connected to it or not. I was. So this is the flower of life being projected on Stephanie. I think this is another one where the image that I was projecting on Stephanie is the same image that you see there in the background. Um, so I was I was photoshopping these a little bit, but that was the actual image that I was projecting on her. So in the center of that flower of life is kind of a white area. That's what you see on her face. And I just tried to match it up. It was beautiful. Ellen, I would love to talk to you about hanging some of these up in some of your establishments. That would be fabulous. Thank you for enjoying my work, and thank you for do I have a great voice, or I do have a great voice? I think you're complimenting my voice. It feels good to talk. I love speaking to people, connecting to people, having it's really better for me when I talk to someone. So you are going to be welcome on my show as a guest. As soon as I'm done with this, I felt the need to show these, and I think more so I felt the need to go through them myself again and connect myself to them again, and figure out where they're going to take me, because these were created to take me somewhere. I've already minted a couple of NFTs, and these are going to be NFTs and uh, available, to you guys. So keep an eye out because I'm headed somewhere, and it feels really good. And I just, I love what I do, and I love what I've done to become who I am, and that's what we're looking at here. Thank you guys so much. You're all saying I do have a great voice. I really appreciate that, and hey, I wish I was born good looking instead of having a great voice, but I got a great voice. I'm grateful for that. No, I'm just kidding, but you know, I appreciate it. I do, and again, maybe that's why I ended up in front of the camera and doing this. And I'm not even going to say maybe it's why. Apparently, it is why. And I'm very handsome. Thank you, Angela. Oh, I appreciate that. And Ellen is saying I do have a great voice. Thank you, Ellen. Awesome. It's good to see you here. I really do appreciate you being here. Um, Let me go through a couple more of these. I only have like maybe 6 or 7 more, maybe 10. But here's another one. And again, I was really I don't know. I was in the flow when I was creating these. I was really experimenting with photography and human form and everything that I wanted to. It was all happening, and I was loving it. It was such an amazing experience, and I'm still, again, with NFTs coming up and all of this stuff happening, I've transformed some of my ideas, and I'm going to be shooting again. So if you guys know anybody who's interested in posing, let me know. I'm going to need some models. But this was a friend of mine's girlfriend who, again, was very trusting and allowed me to do these things and do these explorations. So I do want to express gratitude to anybody who I've ever shot with, anybody who's ever trusted me so much to create images of them. I mean, it's an energy exchange. I know I've talked about that with you guys many times, what energy exchanges, but a photographer and a model, definitely have an energy exchange happening. And because you're co-creating, you're making some amazing stuff. Um, But anyway, I'm going to move on. Angela's going to pass. She usually gets paid not to model, she says. Oh, I'm going to pose. I would pose, but I usually get uh, paid not to model. Jilly B is asking a good question. Have you done a selfie? And I believe you mean like, have I done a projector selfie? And I don't know if I have. I That's a really great idea and a great question. I think it may be something I need to explore. uh, it's a really good idea. I do have a good friend who is a almost like a dead ringer from Marilyn Monroe who contacted me recently and said I want to do the projector project. So I know the universe is kind of like lighting the flame under my ass to bloom into who I need to be, which I am. I am who I am, and I am who I'm supposed to be, and I'm looking forward to who I will be. Um, and I'm hoping you'll all be here as a part of it because it's so much freaking fun, isn't it? Let me go to the next one. Um, this was a good friend of mine as well, and again, just kind of trying to take the images that I was using to project and contrast them or blend them with the poses that I was doing. Um, so what came out of that one. And one of the things I really loved, let me see if I can even see it on this image, is yeah, I love that you could see the actual pixels on the models. That like some people were bothered by that. Like, doesn't that bother you? And I'm like, no, that's the beauty of this. And actually, it's super interesting to me that I am uh, kind of circling back to interacting with AI because part of what I was told and what I was channeling here was my own thoughts about human evolution and digital evolution, human and digital merging as a part of human evolution. That's what I was expressing here inadvertently. I didn't know I was expressing that, but that there's no doubt in my mind that that's what I was expressing, and you'll see that in one of the images coming up, which is going to be a series. I did a little series of this style image because it was so striking to me that not just the visual aspect of it, but the whole philosophical and concept that I was presenting there. Um, I love the lines of the body opposite the direction of the strikes. Yeah, this was just again. I was loving this. I created it. I'll take I'll take that. You know what I mean? I'm definitely accountable for this, but I was certainly channeling this. This was great connection, plugging right in. It was awesome. Another beautiful friend of mine who was a singer. Again, I was going back to trying to concentrate on the face, and this was actually a failed attempt at what I was trying, because at the time I was trying to do these tribal masks, and I'll show you one or two images that were much more successful. This was certainly a successful image because she's a beautiful girl. She has a beautiful expression on. The projections are interesting. Uh, you know, I think that I think that this was definitely a part of what it was supposed to be. And that in the background there is the image that I was using to project on her. Ellen's saying I should show them at the New Life Expo next week. Um, let's talk, Ellen. We'll talk after this. Are any of them on ViewBug? I think there are a couple of shots on my ViewBug. Yes, I do have a ViewBug account, and I believe there are some projector project images there. And again, I took this off because I was taking all those banners off, but I'm going to put it back up there for anybody who is liking what they're seeing and wants to see some more. I have a couple more, and then I'll open up the floor a little bit. Um, this was kind of cool. I was exploring a few of my favorite artists, and this is actually I had a tribute to MC Escher going, and this is actually, if anyone can tell me this artist, I will be very impressed. I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna look for the comments that tell me who this artist is that I'm projecting. Um, You're gonna follow me there. Great, awesome. Roy Biederman, what is happening? Great work as always. Thank you so much. Roy is a fellow photographer who also does some great work and is just a great soul. We've been friends for a long time. I think we met through the comic book circuit of the Women of Armageddon, even if I remember correctly, and that was a long time ago. Ellen's saying, "I didn't realize you were so into spirituality like this. I knew a little bit, but not this degree." Yeah, I'm all about it, man. You know, it, everyone's got to figure out why we're here, and those are the things I believe. I resonate with. We're all connected. We're all one. I resonate with the source. I think growing up, you're thrown a lot of you're given so much information and things are covered up, and words are thrown at you like God and faith, and they're twisted and turned into all of these things that I don't want to say they're not, because the idea of God as a person is definitely a metaphor of what God is. You know what I mean? So I learned to understand and connect with those words. I said universe for a long time instead of God. Anytime I heard the word God, I had to switch it out in my head, because God was just so hard for me to digest. But I was able to eventually understand what God was, and connect with God, and understand that I was always connected with God, and be cool with that word. So that's cool. Anyway, I've got a couple more of these to go. This was kind of a cool one. Again, that's the image re-photoshopped back in to the actual image that I was projecting on the model. But this was kind of, again, inspired by Danny Olivier's work. He does a lot of work that looks like this. And I was just like curious when I saw it, like, oh, I found an image like that. Let me see how this works on the models. So, Angela, I will send you my link, my view bug. And we have a winner, HR Geiger. I'm going to go back to that image. This was HR Geiger, or Giger, however you might say it, who did the designs for the movie Alien. I was turned on to his work through that movie, and he was just he always had this kind of, again, this concepts of this biotechnical um, combination. I think that was what inspired me to use his imagery within this thing. What is this? This is Zbigniew. I'm not sure what that means. Jilly, please explain. I'm sending out for more information on that. What does that mean? So we went to this one, and this was what I was talking about. So here I was using. I started to. I started to understand and appreciate mandalas. I was never really a big fan of mandala art. I thought it was just repeating patterns, and it just didn't appeal to me as an artist, because I was into more organic things, not such symmetrical things, I guess. But I started using some mandalas in my projections, and the first one I did, I was like, "Holy shit! This looks like tribal war paint." I mean, this is like, this is crazy. What the heck is happening? What am I channeling here? So I did a whole series like this, that were, very. I was projecting these images and kind of very specifically placing my model so that, like, their eyes would fall in a certain spot. This almost looks like a little headdress here, and I mean, this was, again, so much fun to connect with my brain, and have my brain tell me, oh, well, what about this? And just connect to source. This was just, I'm looking at these, and I'm remembering that, and it was just amazing. Roy, thank you so much. Kim, thank you so much. It's so cool. I don't mean to adore myself, but I guess I just needed a little love, and that's why I'm doing this thing. And Kim knows what we're talking about when we talk about the humandalas, which was the next evolution of my photography that came out of the projector project. I'm not even showing any human dollars yet, but some of these images I think became human dollars at some point, and we'll talk about that, because I can't believe I've been going for almost an hour and you guys are still here. It's amazing to me. I gotta tell you, I love you. Thank you so much. a guest for it's a big new Bialik, artist for ghost musicians. Nope, not the right artist, but maybe something we should check out for sure. Sounds like it's probably interesting if that's what you thought it was. I have two more of these. I have this one. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. So this is. Oh, I don't want to zoom in too much. Maybe I can zoom out. This was just kind of a weird. I don't know what drew me to this particular image, um, but I know that this model was definitely more of a. She was like a dancer, flow, fire person. So she really knew how to pose the way I wanted, to really show off the femininity of the human form. And she wasn't shy, so it helped. And Julie Lavati is her name, and she's an amazing, amazing. When I say amazing, I know a few fire performers. They're all amazing people, but she is amazing fire performer, amazing flow artist. Like again, really understands her body and the whole. I mean, it's like dance is a science to her. She's just like she understands what it's all about. She just can mesmerize you with a little twerk of her hip, that kind of person. So she's great to work with. This was another fun image. Kim says she loves fire dancers. So amazing. Yeah, it's very, very cool to watch people who are good at it. It's very mesmerizing. I have one more image here. Another performer. This is Kate Van Dorn, who's a local singer here on Long Island. And this was a kind of almost like a digital mandala. It was a very, very intricate mandala image, as you can see, that was shining on her. And that wasn't like a background that the rest of the image was shining on, but I added the image back in Photoshop, just because I felt like it should be there, and it created the kind of halo around her head. This image was kind of very religious, brought up a lot of religious tone to me, which again was just part of these great connections with source and as a creator, being doing all of that stuff. So let me see if I do have. I think I can probably quickly do some human dollars. So yeah, I can. So this image right here. Nope, it was this one right here. Um, this image spoke to me, and this was when I realized that my art was speaking to me, my images were speaking to me. um I know you guys are all. I could say that stuff without the threat of feeling like you're thinking I'm crazy. So this image said to me, you know what, Mike, I would look really cool if you flipped me symmetrically back to back, which I did, and I created that image. I don't think I have that one particularly handy, but I do have. Oh, I just moved the window. Where the heck is that image now? There it is. So I do have the final one handy, which is this one right here. So give it a second. And this was the result of taking that image and flipping it back to back, and then flipping it top to bottom, and then flipping it 8 times basically, and creating the first human dollar. This is the very first human dollar that you're looking at. And this became an obsession of mine, because not only was it like created a human dollar, but there was a third dimension to it. It was like almost like I was using CGI to create these three-dimensional mandalas. And sometimes the faces became more hidden and things like that. This one it's pretty obvious in, but the body becomes kind of morphed into uh, into kind of an unrecognizable thing. Julie saying kaleidoscopish, and Kimberly saying, "Yay, I love these. Thank you, Kim." And Ellen is telling me we're having a love fest Saturday night after we finish the expo, which is having drumming and fire dancing and belly. Awesome. Well, I'm still going to talk to you after this for sure. If not tonight, we'll talk tomorrow. But very cool, Ellen. I'm excited. If you want to publicly say the name, put it here in the chat, and I'll pop it up where it might be if there's a fee or anything like that. I'm going to show you guys one or two more of these, and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up. I might even invite one or two of you guys up to say hello. If you want to raise your hand and tell me that you would love to come on. So here's another image. This was Julie, and this one I think I did. What I did sometimes was 8 iterations was the normal protocol for me, but sometimes I would take those 8 iterations and I would shrink them or enlarge them and then rotate them a little bit. So that's what's happening here. So this was a cool one that I called Fire Flower. Some of the earlier ones, that this was a later one because I had developed some techniques in Photoshop to automate this process. But I'll go to some of the earlier ones because I did those by hand. Like that first one with Francesca was done by hand. This one was done by hand as well. And again, a similar pose that I did back to back, and then I flipped, and then I don't know if you guys can even tell what's happening, but the same pose is repeated here upside down and back to back. And there's just, I guess, again, I was connected to the source at the moment, and I was just flowing with creation and artwork. So there you go. So Ellen's event is free at the Hauppauge Hyatt. Wow. So that is, again, I'm going to put this up here. Awesome, Ellen. I hope this is enticing some local Long Islanders to come. I don't know. I know not all the viewers are local. Love Fest Saturday night after the expo. So the expo is Saturday, and after the expo, is the expo free at the Hyatt? Or this Love Fest is at the, where is this? It's going to be drumming Fire Day. Where is it? Well, anyway, I don't. It's free at the Hauppauge Hyatt. I'm not sure what you're saying. Well, I'll talk to you later. So octo based versus hexi based. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what drove me to create, the protocol for these, but that's what it became. I definitely automated it. In Photoshop a couple of times. Kim is asking this Saturday. The next Kim is local on Long Island, so there you go, Ellen. We may have just successfully organically advertised just by being together. We networked and created something. So is it this Saturday or next? Ellen's got her sunglasses on. So this was just a kind of a regular plain image, and I would rotate and then I would add some blurs, and this one was also more than 8. I don't even remember what I was doing at this point. This one was done by hand, and this was a tree of life image and a just kind of a meditation pose. So there was a lot of exploration going on here. I think in my head, I don't really even think some of these things were intentional. At some point I was like, oh my God, look at that. Look at what I just did. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. And that was kind of cool with the artwork. So you know what? I'm gonna stop because I realize it is 10 o'clock right now. So I'm gonna go back to full screen. Whoa. And thank you. Kim is saying, I love the way her legs make like infinity. Image is really awesome. Thank you. Kim is saying, no, not anymore. Kim, you're not on Long Island. Oh, I thought you were interested in checking out this Love Fest, fire dancing and belly dancing and drum call in the center. Oh, the infinity in the center. Yes, you noticed that. I didn't, and that would happen sometimes. These images would create, sacred geometry and things would just happen from these images. So I can't believe that you guys let me just ramble on about myself. I'm not gonna lie, it felt okay. But I do appreciate it. Rambling on here when I don't have a guest. I don't know if Carrie Ann is still out there. We've spoken about Carrie Ann helping me out by giving me a calendar. So I can actually tell you guys who my guests are for the next month. For the next 2 months, it's going to be a lot more organized. I'm going to try to get in touch with her if she's not out there right now, and make this show better. Make this whole experience better. It's been amazing for me for the last year and a half, and then Jesse moved to the West Coast, and Jesse decided to move on, but the live stream is my happy place, so I had to stay and make something happen. And I have had some amazing guests so far here on I don't want to call it season 2. I'm just calling it new format, new episodes. Lily, thanks so much for always being there and always validating the reason I'm doing this. somebody likes it, there's a reason to do it, right? Even one ripple counts. So I'm gonna call it an end. Ellen, I'm gonna get in touch with you. I'm definitely gonna have Ellen on the show. Ellen is local to me, but we'll do the normal StreamYard thing, and she'll be on the show hopefully, and talk to us about her journey and her transformation, because that's what we like to talk about here. Jilly is saying, nice to learn more about you. Thank you so much, Jilly. Roy Peterman, I enjoyed that. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you for being here, buddy. That's really, really freaking cool. Angela is saying we love you, and you guys know I love you for sure. Listen, I mean, I don't even have to explain it to you guys, but we know that if we emanate, not emanate, what's the word I'm looking for, where it just comes out of you. If you are love, and that's the vibration that you give off, you know that it's there in the universe, and it will affect, and it will create more love, and that's all we need to do to win this war that's going on right now, right? Whatever's going on, love wins. There's no other explanation. Love is everything. So be nice to everybody, love everybody, think about how you respond to everything around you. You're in control of it. Not only will people like you better, but you'll feel better. I mean, I can't tell you how much being filling myself with intention with all of my actions as much as I possibly can. I am far from perfect. I certainly get angry. I certainly stay in bed longer than I should some days. But understanding all of that stuff has just helped me so much to be right here in front of you, talking to you, generating all this love. So thank you guys for generating it back, reflecting me in every moment that I exist. And I love you. I will be back next week. I will tell you guys what's happening. I will make something happen next week, I promise. And hopefully you'll all be back. Peace.